Hi, I'm Gretchen Walton, Compliance and Legislative Affairs Officer for the Cobb County School District. The district would like to thank you for being on your school council. We know you're busy, but we believe this is important work. You are helping to direct your school's overall school improvement plan. As you watch, please focus on the four main topics: Georgia public education governance, the federal and state laws regarding school councils, school council organization and procedures, and finally, your roles and responsibilities as a member of the school council. Now let's break down what you need to know about each area. First, Georgia public education governance. It's important to understand that the state constitution gives local school boards oversight responsibility for public schools. Local superintendents serve as the agent of those school boards, and principals serve as the local school leaders. Next, the laws requiring school councils. There's Georgia House Bill 1187, the Education Reform Act of 2000. It requires that school councils be a part of the school improvement process, that school councils approve the local school's improvement plan, and that they make recommendations to improve student achievement. The other law regarding school councils is the federal Every Student Succeeds Act, or ESSA. It asks that school councils focus on student achievement goals, measure attaining those goals, and then publish the results. ESSA states that all regular schools must have a school council. Special entities and charter schools do not have to have a school council and can utilize other governing bodies within the schools. To help school councils and to address the legal requirements for school councils, the State Board of Education developed model bylaws. The components include meeting schedule, membership, terms of service, election of members, officers, voting procedures, training, and finally, roles and responsibilities. Let's look at each one of these requirements individually, starting with the meeting schedule. While the law requires that school councils meet a minimum of 4 times a year, Cobb County recommends a minimum of 6 meetings. Councils set those annual meeting schedules at the beginning of the year, and at the end of each meeting, remind members of the next meeting dates. As for membership, the law requires a minimum of 7 members on a school council. They should include the principal, 2 certified teachers, 2 parents, and 2 business people who are also parents or guardians at the school. Parents should make up the majority of the council. As far as terms of service, staggered terms are required by law. The school council will designate the length of terms and the beginning and ending dates. Members may serve more than 1 term. On the council, the certified staff members must be employed at the school for 4 of 6 instructional segments. As mentioned earlier, parents must have children enrolled in the school. Business members must be parents or guardians. They are nominated and elected by the school. With the exception of the principal, all members are nominated and elected by the school. The school councils decide when to have the elections, and bylaws should specify the election process. The principal and council chair should lead the election process by doing the following. Be proactive and inform the staff, parents, guardians, and community about the councils. Use as many communication tools as possible, such as the school website, newsletter, or a call-up message. Set the timeline for the election process. Manage the nomination process. You must allow 2 weeks for the process. Rely on the feeder schools for nominations. Have all nominations sent to the school principal. Consider poll locations, such as the media center or cafeteria, both good places to consider. Provide ballots and proper signage at the election. Plan staff coverage for the election and vote counting. Tally the vote, and of course, share the results. If you need a replacement member, the election must be held within 30 days of the creation of the vacancy, unless 90 days or less remain in the term being vacated. Once the council is established, the members will select 3 officers: a chairperson, vice chair, and secretary. The chairperson must be a parent. If the council has an inactive member, the council is required to remove the person by simple majority vote with a quorum present. Here are a few more things you should know. Councils meet at the local school. A quorum must be present at every meeting. Meetings are subject to the Open Meetings Act and the Open Records Act. Adoption of an amendment to bylaws requires the council to have a 2/3 vote of the membership. The law requires that school boards provide training, which is why you are watching this video. In order to have effective school council meetings, you should start and end on time, keep to the agenda, maintain order, keep accurate minutes pursuant to the Open Records Act, encourage member participation, encourage consensus among members, and assess effectiveness of meetings. At this point, we need to discuss the Open Meetings Act and the Open Records Act. Both are important because all school council meetings are public meetings. You should follow timelines, advise the public and media of your meeting. You can use the website and/or newsletter, provide basic agenda information, and make meeting notes available to the school. When it comes to the Open Records Act, conduct business under the assumption that all documents produced, received, or maintained by the council are public records that may be requested. Records must be produced within 3 days of receiving a request. If you receive an open records request, immediately contact the district's open records officer, who will advise you on how to proceed. Now it's time to learn your roles and responsibilities as school council members. It's important that all members follow a code of ethics, understand and practice confidentiality, recognize the safeguards of protecting student information, including FERPA, which protects the privacy of student education records. We stress the importance of this because, at times, you will have access to audits by the Georgia Department of Education, which outlines student achievement, and you must keep the information you learn confidential, particularly about specific students. You should also know it is your role and responsibility to improve communication within the school, share your ideas for student achievement and school improvement, increase parent and community participation throughout the school, and solve difficult education problems. For instance, those dealing with attendance, safety issues, morale in the building, and other broad, far-reaching goals in the school, but not specific child needs in the classroom. You can also provide advice and recommendations to the school principal, and when appropriate, to the school board and superintendent on any matter related to student achievement and school improvement. There are other ways a council can advise and recommend. I have mentioned a few, but to recap, they include school improvement plans, school budget priorities. As a council member, you will have access to the budget, and you can advise the school principal on the best ways to spend the money available. You will have access to audits issued by the Georgia Department of Education, and you will have input on the development of a school profile. You can also advise and recommend school-based community services, methods of involving parents in the community, and methods and specifications for the delivery of early intervention services for underachieving students. So I've just given you a lot of information. You can learn more by going to our website at www.cobbk12.org. On behalf of the district, I would like to thank you for your involvement with your school and for serving on your school council. Thank you for your time.